Hello there, Crystal from the SimplyWise team. In today's video, we're going to walk through how to use your Cost Estimator app with an overview. So to get started, when you log into your app, on your home screen, you want to tap the Create button on the lower right-hand corner. And once you tap that, it's going to bring you to your project description screen, which is what we have here. Here's where you can enter all of the details of your project and scope of work. You want to be as detailed and thorough as possible to give the app the most information that it can have to generate a really great estimate. You can also enter pricing or cost information here. So if you already know the rates for your labor or specific materials, you can certainly enter that information here, and the app will take that into account when it generates your estimate. Here is where you can also upload images of your project. To do so, you would tap the camera icon. That's the little icon in the middle of the page. You can add several photos there. And if you also have blueprints of your project, you can tap the second icon, which is a little paper clip, and you can add those there. Just keep in mind that the app will not generate an estimate solely based on images and or blueprints. You will always need a really good detailed project description in this screen in order to generate your estimate. Okay, so once you have your project description input, your images uploaded, your description score says good, you can move forward in the process by tapping the arrow on the upper right hand corner. Once you tap the arrow, it's going to take you to the cost estimator screen. Basically, it's going to take a few minutes to analyze the images and the information that you've input, and then it's going to take that into account and ask you a series of questions. So take some time to go through the questions that it asks you to give additional clarifying information to the app so that it has that when it generates the estimate. It will also ask you at the end of those questions if you want to add or include only material cost, only labor cost, or both material and labor cost. I'm going to select both material and labor cost because I want to see what the app generates. But if you just need a quick estimate on labor only or material only, you can certainly use that as well. Once you complete the series of questions, the app is going to give you a project breakdown. It's going to add everything together. It's going to build that estimate for you, take into account those questions that you answered, and it's going to bring it all together for you. Here is the project breakdown screen. It's going to break down our project into different parts of the project. You can go through and you can review this. You can make edits or you can completely remove it. It's based on your needs and it's specific to your project. So there's no right or wrong here. Once you have confirmed that everything is good, you want to tap continue on the lower portion of the screen, and it's going to finalize everything from there. Here is the pricing screen where it's actually going to import live pricing from the Home Depot located closest to me. And then it's going to prompt me to confirm the crew setup. I'm going to leave it as is. If you need to make changes, you can add or subtract based on your needs. But once you have what you need, you can tap next at the bottom. And here you would want to confirm your hourly labor rates. Remember, at the beginning of our project, we did not add any labor rates. We wanted to see what the app gave us. So this is what it includes. And we're going to go with this. So we're going to tap next. And here we can see the estimate broken down by different pieces or different parts of the project, from the roof install, the electrical install, the stone, etc. We're good here. We don't need to make any changes. If we want to make changes, you're welcome to do so with the edit with AI button at the very bottom, which is right above the next. But for our purposes, we're going to go ahead and tap next. And here's where we get to the project image render. You can see the image there. It shows half of our before image and then the after is blurred out. So now we want to go ahead and tap generate render. And it's going to prompt you. Do you already have the image uploaded? Do you want to take a new photo? Do you want to add additional images from the gallery? You have those options there. Because we've already uploaded ours, we're going to select the first one. We're going to tap continue, and we're going to let it generate our new image so we can see what our project will look like. This feature is really great, and we've learned that it's been super helpful for a lot of our users when they're sending out their projects, because it allows their clients and their customers to see what the after project would look like. And this has been very successful in helping a lot of people win those bids over their competitors, because they're able to give that edge of what the work will look like once it's completed. Okay, so here we can see that the image render has been completed. We can toggle. So if we toggle to the far right, here we see our before image. And when we toggle from right to left, now we can see our project render, okay? So if we're good with this image, we can say continue. If we want to make edits, we can do it with the edit render with AI. So let's see if we can make this porch longer. So input what you want to change and then tap the blue check mark, and it's going to render a new image for you. It's also helpful to know that when you make edits to your image renders, it needs to be done during this process where we are right now. If you get through the estimate flow and you've saved it, you will not currently be able to go back and make changes to the image. You would have to start all over. So again, if you want to make changes to the image render, you want to do it before you save that estimate. Okay, so let's take a look. And it looks like it has taken our porch from either side of the house, but it's added an extra ceiling fan. So we're going to remove middle ceiling fan. Okay, and let's see what it comes up with. And we can see that it has removed the middle ceiling fan, left the ceiling fans on either end of the porch. The porch runs the full extension of the house. It's added exactly the way we want it. So this is the image that we want to keep, and we're going to tap continue as no more changes are needed. Okay, so once we get to our save estimate screen, you can give your estimate a name. Here you can customize that specifically to your client's name if you need to, or if you have particular project numbers, whatever name that works for you, you can completely edit that here. If you want to save as a template, you would tap that box to save it as a template and give it a name. We're not going to save ours today. We actually have another tutorial that walks you through that. And then once we have our name, we're going to tap next, and we're going to save it to our folder. You know that the folder has been selected when you see the blue icon there, the check mark. You can tap save once selected. And then it's going to prompt you to send it. Are you ready to send? So if you're ready to send this to your client, you can tap yes. If you're not quite ready, then you can tap not yet. When you tap back into your folder, here you can see the estimates at the very top of the screen. When you tap into your folders, your estimates are always going to be in chronological order with the most recently completed at the top. And then as you scroll down, you'll see the older estimates there. Okay. So when you can tap back in it, you can see the estimate here. You can toggle through the icons at the very top. You can see the photos there, any notes. And once you've assigned a client to this, you would be able to see that under the client information. We can go ahead and we can assign this to Barbara. And when we're ready, we can tap Send Estimate at the very bottom, and it'll take you through that flow. Actually, let's decide. Let's not send it to Barbara. We're going to reassign it to Crystal. Okay. We're going to add our project start date. I'm going to move that over. And now we're ready to send. So tap Send Estimate. And on the Send Estimate screen, this is going to give you your information at the top. Your estimate number, again, this can be completely customizable. Our client information, our message to our client. If you want to make changes to the message field, simply tap the 3 dots on the upper right hand corner and tap Edit. If you want to remove, tap Clear. Underneath of that, we want Crystal to see what this project would look like. We want to give her that visual of what to expect after we complete the project, and this is what we're going to include. And then below that's going to be the project breakdown. And underneath of that is going to be the estimate options, okay? This is a very important piece of the estimate because this is going to determine how much detail your client sees, okay? If you only want your client to see a lump sum total and you do not want them to see a breakdown of quantity, line items, etc., including labor, material cost, you want to select the one that says do not show line items, which is what we see here. Okay, I'll toggle through them so you can see exactly what the changes are. If you tap on show line item names, this is going to show your client how many units of each item you're using. This can get your client stuck out in the weeds a bit because if you have, for example, handrail materials 4, and they say, I only saw you install 3. Where's that 4th item? That can create a headache for you. Some clients want to see the breakdown, and if you're okay with them seeing that, that's the option that you want. If you want to group your items together, you can. This would basically group material and labor for each piece of the project. So in our example, foundation and structural framing, we'll give them a breakdown of how much material is going into that and how much the labor cost is. Same thing for roofing, electrical, etc. Okay. And then the last option shows line item names and total. So this gives the full scope of the project. It breaks it down, it groups them, it gives the quantity number of the items, the unit price, the labor, material, everything. This is the full view that you have that you can share with your client. Again, some users choose not to give this level of detail and prefer just to give the lump sum so that they can see the scope of the work and the total price. They aren't able to decipher how much costs going in labor, how many pieces of 2x4s are included, etc. It's just a lump sum total for them. And then below that, if you want to add anything extra, you could certainly do that here. The app will give you a handful of options. And then if you want to add any new photos, or if you want to include your original photo, you can do that here. You can see once we select that photo, it gives us a blue check mark indicating that it has been selected, meaning that it will also be included when we send this over to our client. Okay, and then at the very bottom, you'll have your notes section. The notes section is actually the original project description that we input on that first screen. And then below that is our disclaimer. You can edit or clear out either of these sections. Anywhere that you see a field with the 3 dots on the upper right hand corner, there's a little pop-up menu that you can use if you need it. Okay, so we have gone through this. We're good. We're ready to send. We're going to tap preview, and this is going to give us a snapshot of what our client's going to see. So this is the actual estimate that they would see. Okay, we can scroll through that quickly. And you see at the very bottom is the before image. Okay, so once we're ready to send, we want to tap send, and we're given 2 options. The first option is email, and the second one is other sharing options. If you tap email, it's going to send it through your SimplyWise app directly to the client email that you've input into the client information. If you have additional documents that you want to include, let's say you have a contract, a legal contract that you want them to sign. You want to tap other sharing options, and then you're going to select the email app on your phone. So if you use Gmail or Outlook, whichever app that you use, you can even send it by text if you want, or if maybe you're working with someone on Facebook, you want to send it through Messenger, you can certainly do that. However, if you're going to send a document, additional document, you want to send it through your email. So once you tap other sharing options, it'll take you to your phone apps. You can select the app that you use and include your additional documentation and send directly from your email, and it will be copied into your sent file as if you were sending a normal email. Okay. So once you do that, it sends it on its way. And let's tap back though briefly into the folder where estimates are located. Let's say that you've already received a payment on this, or you want to send an invoice. Remember, the three dots on the upper right hand corner is a pop-up menu. So we're going to tap that on our estimate. And here you'll see different options. So we can send the estimate from here. We can send the invoice. We can change the folder. We can update the status, we can duplicate it, or we can delete it. Keep in mind though, if you delete it, it's gone. It cannot be recovered. So if you need to move it to a different folder, let's say an archive folder, you could certainly create a folder and move it there. Okay. But on this menu, let's just talk quickly about the update status. Let's say that you received payment, so you want to tap on the update status. And then on the update status screen, there's a wheel that you can select. So this client's already paid. We can tap done. We can tap back. And now we can see at the very top the green icon that says invoice paid. Now we know that that estimate and that invoice has been paid. Work is ready to begin. So you can do that. You can filter here on this screen as well by tapping the filter icon on the upper right hand corner. You can filter by searching a keyword. You can filter by status, and you can also filter by your client name. So quick and easy way to look through your estimates if you have them in one folder. And last but not least, you have your sidebar menu. Here's where you can actually update business info by tapping on the business info tab. If you have a client intake form you want to send and have your client fill out their scope of work, you would tap the client intake form. Templates that you've created can be accessed here, client information, and then also if you toggle through the other different SimplyWise app, let's say you have the receipt scanner app, or if you have the mileage tracker app, or even the AR receptionist, you can toggle through the SimplyWise suite at the very top. Okay, be sure to check out our other videos, our other tutorials on the same channel. We have tutorials that go through, they're like micro sessions. So it's generally maybe a couple of minutes that goes through each feature of the app. It just takes a few minutes to go through, and they're super helpful. And it will give you a better understanding on how to utilize all of the features to make your business more successful, to win those bids, and to wow your clients. We hope you found this video helpful. If you did, please give us a thumbs up.